as you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? Well, I never said I wouldn't, but did I ever think it would probably happen at this level? No, but it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. I've never had a lazy day. I've never skipped work, never had a day off, ever. If you were to go through the last 3 years of my life, you will see that there's never been a day where I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And it all just adds up, and then monumental success comes and you get to laugh at everybody else, ha ha ha, and life's great. But I really believe God's given me one of the best lives, and I can't complain about anything bad that's happened. It's all been fantastic. I'm truly thankful for all of it. Thank you, God, for that difficult time. I think if a couple bad things happen to you, you should be intelligent enough to realize that eventually you're going to get over it and you're going to learn an important lesson. It's going to change you in the correct direction. And Allah is the best of planners, and he knows what you need to learn. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. You have to learn the hard way. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I told you, if I just said, hey, Andrew, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. But when I show you, when you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. He was teaching low kicks. He'd kick your leg off. Because you don't believe in the power of a low kick. You don't believe a low kick can be so devastating unless you've felt it. You have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. He's the best of planners. And I'm thankful for all the lessons he's given me. He's bestowed knowledge upon me. How could I not be grateful to God for making me so intelligent and wise and the ability to look into things so deeply and come up to the right decision and basically predict the future perfectly? How did I know how the world works? You have to have difficulty happening to you all the time. So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, what you're saying is you're a dummy and you want to be a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life. And I don't want anything bad to happen to me because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big of I can't handle the emotional pain. I can't handle the stress. So you want to stay a dumbass. I don't want to be a dummy. I want to be smart. If I want to be smart, then hurt me. All of the wisdom I have, all of this knowledge I speak, all of these things I say have been learned through basically difficulty of life, through professional fighting and being poor and all bad things happening to me and struggle. All of my lessons have been bad things, bad events, bad scenarios, bad situations, pain, suffering, anger, resentment. All of these horrible emotions are how I've learned everything. So I thank God for giving them to me. And anyone who wants an easy life wants to stay a dummy. What do you learn if you just get money, you buy a crypto coin, it blows up, you get some money, you sleep with some girls, you go to some restaurants? What do you learn about anything? When bad things happen to me, I just kind of enjoy it. And I think that maybe it's perhaps I just enjoy it for the story. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort, it's trying to find challenges, and it's trying to find stories. Once you understand all of the bad things and good things that come into your life are a perfect plan from God himself, you're going to be a lot less affected by the bad things. If something bad happens to you, it's part of God's plan. He knows what he's doing. In the end, you're going to be happy it happened. I often ask people, is there anything bad that's happened to you in the past at the time you were distraught about that you now wish didn't even happen? And truthfully, you're like, no, I'm kind of glad it all happened because of. So if you understand you're always going to get there eventually, why be upset about it now, right? If you know in a year from now you'll be glad it happened, why be upset about it happening now? You have to be cerebral enough about things. And I think if you take these approaches, it's pretty easy to be a happy, contented, balanced person. I don't think there's any serious magic to happiness. I think it's a choice and it's pretty easy to do. I think the unhappiest people in the world don't have any struggle at all. You often find that people who are struggling but know exactly what they're supposed to do, if they're getting up every day and they're grinding and they're working hard and they don't have what they want yet, but they believe they're going to get it and they're trying their very best and they're dedicating themselves, they're very happy. Perhaps the people who are born with a trust fund and unlimited money and have no struggles in their life and they have no objectives to try and conquer are truly the miserable ones. I think that a lot of people don't understand that it's all of the challenges and struggles that's going to make them, it's either going to make or break them. I was sent a study about stress from somebody. It's probably the best study I ever read. And it's talked about the placebo effect of stress. And it said that they took some of the most stressed people in the world, CEOs, etc. And the ones who believed that stress was really bad for them were dying earlier because of the cortisol inside of their blood. And they said stress would be bad for them, they were having heart attacks. But the ones who believed that stress was good for them and it made them perform, I perform under pressure, stress is good for me, they were living longer. So the same drug inside of their blood, how they framed it inside of their mind had different effects on their body. So from that point onwards, even though I already thought this way, I knew I was the right way. I knew it was the right way to think innately because I've done pretty good in life that way. But this confirmed it. Every time I feel stressed or under pressure, I get excited. It's how you look at the problems and how you use them to fuel you. What's the problem for the average man today? What's the biggest problem? I think there's a whole host of problems. But what you have to do is frame it inside of your mind and understand that all of those problems are going to allow you, give you the fuel, the unlimited motivation that you need to become a successful and beautiful individual if you frame it in the right way. If you take a man and give him a life shielded from problems and he never has any to face, I guarantee you he's terrible at being a man. The best men in the world have gone through shit. So the best thing you can do as a man is look and go, okay, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. I feel negative because these are all so difficult. I'm struggling with X, Y, Z. Let me internalize all of that and turn it into a superpower. Let me become genuinely uncomfortable with my situation in life and go and fix things. Because like I said, the universe is absolutely and utterly very giving. And if you truly hated being in the position you were in, you wouldn't be there very long. So I think that the number one problem with the world today and the biggest problem that men face isn't the problems themselves. It's just the way that they are been taught to mentally frame issues. People think when bad things happen to them that somehow they're a victim to the universe and bad things only happen to me and this is so terrible. They don't understand that bad things happen to everybody. And the most successful person you know had all those probably, maybe even worse, at least the same bad things happened to them. They just framed it differently and used it. So I don't pray for an easy life. As a man, 99% of the time, you're going to be stressed or annoyed about something that's just happened, currently happening, or about to happen. That's life. We live constantly anxious. We have a lot of things to do. And you either suffer the consequence of the stress it requires to be a somebody, or you suffer the consequence of having no stress because you're a fucking nobody and you work in Starbucks and then you're a no one. There's no escape the eternal suffering of man. Women get to be happy. We build these huge empires so women can sit around and enjoy their lives. And we're happy to give it to them. So many men say to me, oh, how I don't feel happy. I'm like, so? You think I'm happy? 7 criminal convictions. I got nearly $1 billion. I'm still stressed. I got criminal convictions, work to do. I was up at 6 a.m. I got to go here. I got to go there. I've got to train. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. At what point do you think you've earned the right to wake up as a man and feel happy? Name a period in human history where men were happy. If you wake up and say, no, I don't want to work. I just want to be happy.
No, I'd be miserable. Well, everybody would be. In fact, I retired at 25 and was miserable after 2 months.
No, winners would be miserable, but losers love it, and that's why they lose. Losers say all the time, losers have this problem with temporary motivation. A loser will come and say, I really want to change my life. I can't live like this anymore. And they'll mean what they say for about 2 days. And then they're happy to go back to being a loser again. You know, they really want it Monday to Friday, but on the weekend, they're happy to go back to how they were. And that's why they never escape. They never get the terminal velocity required to break free from the atmosphere of mediocrity. I'm conditioned to win. Just like you said, you can't handle the idea of stagnation. You can't handle the idea of retirement. I'm the same. But I'm not going to lie and pretend that that mindset means I live stress-free. In fact, I would argue that I adopt endless stress all of the time because I'm looking for problems to solve, because I'm looking for money to make. I'm looking to win. You just have to say, well, I have to do something. I can't just sit still and die. A lot of people are happy to just sit still and die or jerk off and go to sleep and take a nap. Well, if that's what you want to do, then you can say a loser. That's fine. I'm glad there are losers, because if everyone had Lamborghinis, my Lamborghini wouldn't be fun to show off. I need you to look at it and feel the deep pain in your heart of regret and failure. So you can sit at home and do nothing. But when I was poor, I had to go for a run. I couldn't sit still or lift weights or do something. I couldn't even sleep. You're not supposed to get rich off a fucking stupid meme coin without doing any work. You're supposed to suffer. And the best men are the ones who suffered the most. I wouldn't be top G if I didn't suffer more than anyone else. Because you're not what happens to you. You are how you react to it. Lots of people are going through the world trying to get experiences, but they're so obsessed with getting the positive experiences that they never really experience life at all. People go through life and they say, I want to make money on a crypto coin, and I want to get rich, and then I want to get a beautiful girlfriend, I want to go on a boat in Miami, and all this positive, but there's no light without dark. If you have not experienced true misery and pain, you'll never ever be happy.
Things are going to happen in your life. But remember this, life is 10% what happens to you. It's 90% what you do about it. You can stop complaining about life is unfair to me. No, it ain't. It's just life. But you have to go on. You have to find the strength from somewhere. I had to change what I was thinking 2 years ago. I work all the time. And one day I caught myself because I was just talking about how much I got to do, how I'm always tired and I'm woe down. And somebody sent me something that changed my whole life. The plaque said, I can't complain about all that's on my plate when my whole goal was to eat.
Engage in this one, indulge in it even slightly, and you might as well forget the future because it's going to forget you. Complaining, whining, see, that'll ace your future. It's a deadly disease. If you don't think it's bad, ask the children of Israel. Story says, children of Israel were slaves. God performed a series of dazzling miracles and got them out. Remember the story? Heading for the promised land. From day one, they started to complain. They whined and cried and griped about the food. They whined and cried because it was too far, too cold, too miserable. I mean, they whined and cried for years. Finally, God said, I've had it, trip canceled. They died in the desert, never got to the promised land. Even God himself can only take so much.
A friend of mine, working on a job, expected to retire there, and one day they called him in the office, told him he was fired and he had to leave then. And if you came anywhere near him, he will tell you his story. Even when he got a job, he went on the job telling anybody who would listen, and he always ended with, it wasn't fair. Life isn't fair. Life just is. So we can't even deal with what's fair. I used to be a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. There was one particular person that all of us knew. We called him Chicken Man. He had a feather in his hat. When he got out of his car, he would walk downtown with a baby carriage with 2 little baby dolls in there and a picture of a woman. All of us used to laugh at Chicken Man. Chicken Man woke up one morning and his house was on fire. And he got out of the window and left quickly, only to get outside to hear his children and his wife screaming for help. And the flames were too hot, too awesome. He was desperate, frantic. Pretty soon the cries stopped. They perished in the fire. His brother-in-law came, grabbed Chicken Man and started beating him. You chicken, why did you save my sister? You're a chicken. He never ever overcame that tragedy. He was stuck. And I say to you, you're going to have people to do things to you. Things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go so you can get on with your life. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it? Huh? How long are you going to tell everybody at the bus stop and anybody who would stand and listen to you? How long are you going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again? Don't go around telling people what your story is. 80% don't care and 20% glad it's you. They say, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. So I had to let that go. All of us have experienced some tragedy, and if we haven't, we will. You can permit it to let it hold you down, or you can decide, I'm not going to let that happen to me. Make a declaration to yourself. Declare all out war that you're going to get out of this rut. I don't care how much you work on yourself. There's some times when things aren't going to go right. Why? I don't know why. That's called life. And you have to deal with it. I suggest to you that if you are facing a challenge, don't stop. Continue to do those things that you know that work for you. Continue to move. Stay busy, stay busy, stay busy. Find somebody that you can help so you can forget about you for a moment. See, sometimes the best thing to do is to be. Sometimes you have to back up and go within and recharge your batteries. Go away, clear your head, and then come back and look at it from a different vantage point. Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. You know, weeds don't have to have any encouragement to grow. You don't have to force yourself or motivate yourself to think negatively, to beat yourself up over the head. You don't have to make any effort to do that. Your mind is on automatic. It will do that by itself. But if you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm coming back.